Welcome in the latest episode of the Bet and the Pitch NFL podcast. I'm your host, real underscore G Warner, joined by A underscore Snicker. This is our time to shine. This is where we go undefeated. This is where we pick every game against the spread because we are winning money and it will not stop. How are you feeling? It is the
Oh
NFL
man,
playoffs.
it's so good. I'm watching a replay of Sunday Night Football right now. It's fourth quarter. What a game that was. I
What's
feel great.
It was
I
pretty boring finish, don't you think?
oh my gosh, I was I mean, I'm in the fourth quarter now. It was 28 points in the last 8.5 minutes of that game. Incredible.
If you had the under, sorry about that. Good thing we both had the Steelers. So
Yep.
I'm wearing a Kansas City Chiefs shirt. Do you know what time they play?
Oh, that's mean.
Well, maybe the girl I was
We
seeing
put
shouldn't have ghosted me, and then she would actually have a quarterback with no ACL and maybe a team in the playoffs. But no, this is a
You've
while
put
ago.
her on blast before.
This is a while ago. Well, I don't think they've won since. Well, I guess they might have won this weekend. But all
Did they
that
win
is
this
already.
weekend?
Didn't they beat the Raiders? I don't
I
know.
think they lost. I don't
Great.
even. That's how irrelevant they've been for
Yeah,
the last like month.
exactly. Sorry, I'm not going to say her name, Megan. Sorry, but good
No,
job by you.
stop. Stop
All right,
it.
we're moving on. We're gonna go through each of the games because they're all standalones. I'm so happy for this. This is gonna be awesome. We'll start. We're gonna give out a pick on each of the games. We'll go through the games. We'll do that at the end of the show. I'll ramble through. If you've gone through betting the pitch episodes before, we're gonna do it just like we always did, and this is where we shine. So the Rams, 10-point favorites right now on the road at Carolina. We saw this game not too long ago over the Thanksgiving break because I actually was pretty disappointed this game was going to be forced upon me at a local South Carolina television station, but didn't happen. Rams ended up losing on the road at Carolina. It's pretty bad weather. Total in this one is 46 and a half, and we've seen no movement at BetOnline so far.
Yeah, and I think we're recording this on Monday, so there's a lot of development that's probably going to happen with injury reports, and these numbers are going to, I would assume, move a decent amount.
Who are you
Um,
most interested in? Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams, and there's a safety that is expected back as well. Not as big of a deal, but certainly they have looked like
Well,
they've.
a safety looked pretty important in that Baltimore Pittsburgh game that you're watching right now.
You're absolutely right.
So
There are several secondary pieces that were pretty important there, and I think the Rams have were the darlings maybe a month and a half ago, and things have changed rapidly since they blew that lead against Seattle. It's the shine has certainly come off. Stafford feels like it's like he's pressing or making a little bit making some more dangerous decisions. The defense has not really been able to stop many teams. And then you've got Carolina, who is going to be basically discounted for good reason. I'm not saying like for good reason they're going to be discounted this entire week though. The whole conversation is going to be about how they weren't worthy of getting in. Again, valid, but that matters when you're talking about professional teams and a team that's played really really well at home. As you mentioned with the weather, that was certainly a difference in that first meeting between the two teams. And even just like I know we talk about the time zones not mattering as much, but you have a West Coast team going across the country that's used to nice weather, playing outdoors. So we'll see. I don't have
68
looked.
degrees is projection on Saturday.
Yeah,
It
and
is looking like a little bit of rain, 65% chance. And those pretty boys from SoCal, they might not enjoy that.
I have some weather experts that I go to, and they tell me anything less than
One's
like
talking to you right now into a microphone.
I have some real weather experts that
Whoa!
that
Okay.
uh that
Yeah.
have degrees in
Oh,
meteorology, and
oh,
they say
oh.
anything less like outside of 60 to 50 hours, it means nothing. So like let's see what this weather report's looking like late Wednesday night, and we'll
Okay.
we'll know better.
Okay. Okay.
Do you have
Uh,
a do you have a before we get to like a lean or whatever I have in this, do you have um like a strong inclination in this game?
well, good teams win and great teams cover. What an incredible run for the Carolina Panthers to cover the spread on the road at Tampa Bay Bucks. Yes, they backed in the playoffs, but I was very excited, as was a lot of this borrows in. So clearly, sports betting has made it to Dallas. Um, because there weren't any Panthers jerseys around. I'll put it that way.
Huh,
But
interesting.
there's one guy literally wearing a coat that had all NFL like logos patched on it, and I was like, oh, so you just point at which one you bet on each game or something? or rub the lucky decal.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so probably the worst flea flicker I've seen in my lifetime. On a slippery field
Is
with
that what it was supposed to be?
Rico Dowdle trying to flip the ball back to Bryce Young with no one open, and Bryce Young tries to pick it up with one hand like he was not in a play for the playoffs division type of game to end his season. Uh, so I've been well, it was my best bet 3 weeks ago, Carolina, a win against the Bucks. It was a best bet of mine the week after that, when they played the Seahawks, and literally could have covered that game, but gave it away with bad decision turnovers and things of that nature. Um, Things didn't look great against the Bucks. We do have some history of really unexpected four seeds winning. We had the Skittles game where I think there was an earthquake in Seattle when Marshawn Lynch
Right.
ran down forever. Tim
Yep.
Tebow, I think, threw a really long touchdown pass late, and then I think
Hmm.
baptized the whole crowd on the Bronco in the middle of the
That's
Sports
right.
Authority,
Against the
now
Steelers.
bankrupt field way back when. So, like, we have some history here, but and yes, maybe the Rams are not looking great, kind of limping on their way in, coming off a pretty disappointing but win against Arizona after an ugly loss on a Monday night where the Falcons really had nothing to play for and the Rams probably had a little bit more, but not a lot for themselves. I just think that they can turn it on. Currently, you want to guess the Super Bowl 2026 favorite at Bet Online
For the entire league?
for the entire thing?
Oh my goodness. Uh, I mean, well, now feel like it's a leading question because I haven't looked at these odds in the last week or so. Um,
I would never lead the witness.
because I would go with Seattle, or
Well,
I would
they are 4-1 odds right now, as are the Los Angeles Rams, who have to play an extra game and have to go on the road this
on
whole
the
entire
road.
thing, while Seattle has to go on the road for 0 games. So that tells you how
That's
confident and what's what a 10-point favorite will do for you probably in the first round. But when people were asking me, my mom asked me over Thanksgiving who I thought was going to the Super Bowl. I said
yeah,
Rams, Bills, but that was because I thought the Rams would get the 1 seed.
yeah.
Um, I think I still feel pretty good about that, though I don't love
Huh.
how many road games they're going to have to play and the weather they're going to have to deal with because that does matter to me, and does seem to matter to them as well. Um, the only thing I could say is anyone who listens to the Betting Pitch NFL podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, if you want to leave 5-star reviews there, make something in the comments for _Schnicker to read. Also, we have plenty of other content coming at the real _ G Warner on Instagram and on YouTube. Um, the Panthers were, I mean, oh my God, what year am I looking at? This is not the standings from this, from last year. Okay, that's why. Okay, so the Panthers, I wanted to get their home and road record out there. So the Panthers were 3-6 away, 5-3 at home. I don't even know if that's like that impressive. An 8-9 team, yes, it's really nice that they're over 500 in some place. I don't know that I'm that impressed. I feel like one of the problems, I do think the NFL playoffs is all about underdogs, but there
Yeah.
is something about the favorites that they don't take the foot off the gas. They don't usually in regular games, but in the playoffs, I feel like unless it is a murder scene, this is going up and there's going to be a lot of points scored. If we got some bad weather, that certainly makes the 10 points look more interesting. Um, I don't think I want to do any. I've literally spent so much time with Bryce Young the last 3 weeks. I don't know that I want to spend another second.
Sure. That's fair. I get that. Oh, so you were looking at points where they were 5-3 against the spread this year? Yeah.
Nope, that was their home record, just straight up.
Oh, overall? Well, they were also 5-3 against the spread at home.
So if they win, they cover.
That's right. That's right.
Ish.
Um,
Ish.
yeah,
I don't know that they've lost and covered,
this
but
is kind of like one of
awesome.
I because we do this. The purpose of our exercises where we talk about, okay, is there a bet that we like, or we at least pick a side on each of these, not endorsing a bet on all of these, but we always at least give a side out, or at least we have in the past. And having said all of that, and looking at these records, and
They probably are 5-3 straight up and against the spread because they've been
they are,
underdogs against Dallas, against Los Angeles, against
yeah,
Tampa Bay. Like, I don't know who
yeah,
they're
they were,
favored against. So
yeah.
maybe New Orleans, maybe.
So they covered. They covered against the Falcons. They covered against the Dolphins. They covered against the Cowboys. They covered. against the Rams, and they covered
against
against
the
the
Bucks.
Bucks.
So that's
That's their five.
three underdogs and two favorites,
Yep.
probably.
So I mean, if we're gonna go ahead and move forward with the purpose of like picking a side, I would take
We
the
will pick
Rams.
we will pick at the
Oh, you
end.
want to take them all? You want to
We're
do it
gonna
at the
pick
end?
every game at
Okay.
the end before
Well,
we move on. So we'll move. I cut off what you said, so I don't think it was heard. We'll move now to Saturday night, which I swear I literally went out for this game a few weeks
we
ago.
just
Met the
watched it.
most beautiful world girl ever. Went out for this game, and I was literally watching. I had bet the Bears, and I completely missed the second half. Completely. All of a sudden, I heard people yelling, and I looked, and I was like, "How is this game in overtime?" I'm an NFL podcast host, and I just missed this whole thing. But I got distracted by a 22-year-old. That's what happens to me sometimes. She's a little too young. My mom even said that. But Green Bay Packers, they were not able to win that game, partly because they lost their quarterback. And their backup also got hurt. And that's not great. But they're a pick 'em right now on the road at Chicago. Total is 45 and a half in this one. And this is one of the few games that had seen some movement. I saw Green Bay -1, my first number that I saw. Total was
Yeah,
46 and a half then. Climbed to 47, fell down to 46. I'm thinking there's some speculation about the health of Jordan Love.
for sure. I bet you he's back. I bet you.
I mean, if he's not back, then we've
Yeah,
got a
no way.
problem.
This line. I mean, this line is.
Is way. I mean,
This line
honestly,
is like.
though, Mr.
I would
Willis
say
had made himself a lot of money in
for sure. I think he's a very good backup and could be a spot starter. That's the like. It's kind of like when you're a 4A baseball player.
Mm.
I feel like Malik Willis is like
You're
right in that,
describing you're describing me very well. I could
like
hit. It was the
he's in
arm
that perfect
strength that
sweet
really
spot,
did it.
like QB number 35 in the league, which is hey, that's a fine place to be. I mean, if he were playing, I'd make the Bears what -4, -3.
Whoa. I think that's too much. But Love cleared the
You
concussion
don't think there's a
protocol.
5 point difference between Willis and Jordan Love? Yeah.
No. Love cleared the concussion protocol Thursday. At the same time, Coach Matt LaFleur announced that Tune would be Green Bay starter under center for Week 18. That was with Malik Willis inactive with right shoulder and hamstring injuries. We should be very sure that Love is playing here. Why do you think the initial move, home underdog, we're just grabbing that because we think that's the best we'll see from the marketplace?
Yeah, maybe. Um, I think that there's probably looking at just these two teams and their trajectory over the last month. Yes, I know we watched this game 2 weeks ago and two and
It
a
was
half weeks
ugly.
ago,
Even
and the
without
Bears,
Jordan Love,
right,
it
and
was
the Bears
ugly.
couldn't do anything um, for 3 quarters. I think people are speculating on Ben Johnson and his ability to game plan against this kind of team. I think Caleb Williams potentially there's like still exponential value, and he has not truly hit like where he actually is in terms of the market. Um, yeah, I mean I'm pretty optimistic on the Bears and what they're at right now. And maybe that's a little bit about how I feel about Green Bay and how I've felt about Green Bay over the last, you know, 6 weeks. But really, especially once Michael Parsons went down, it's just a different roster. A lot of times it matters more about who gets hurt during your season versus the quality of your squad. And so I think Green Bay in that case is just a little bit walking wounded. Haven't been impressed with them in a while. And on the other side, I think the Bears getting a home playoff game. Yeah, it's exciting.
I'm a little less optimistic about the Bears than I was a few weeks ago. I think it's
Yeah.
because of how ugly that first half was against the Packers. And they seem to be closer to full strength now than they were then. Because Parsons was already out. I think got hurt the week before against Denver, if I'm not mistaken, or whenever it was. It was
Yeah.
before that.
Yep.
I do think that Mike Parsons, almost a Chandler again, was to me like a premium asset, but on a really good defense. But they also lost a really important nose tackle, defensive tackle, I think, too. So that front is getting weaker. That's what the Bears I thought would dominate with a run scheme that no one has figured out under when Ben Johnson's been an offensive coordinator for the Lions, and then we saw a huge step back from them this season. with his departure. And then, I mean, Caleb Williams, I feel like I'm at a much it's weird. I'm like less confident in the dominance of Ben Johnson at this point, but I'm more confident in Caleb Williams that he's gonna not just completely ruin things, Bryce Young style, to
Yep.
tie this all together. Um, where do you think the next move? Who's gonna move to -1? We got weather, by
I
the way. 28 is a low on Saturday night, which seems like a pretty warm evening
Yeah,
in Jersey City.
that feels pretty good. I
I would not
I'm
want that, but
no, I'm certainly not me living
I
on
would
the
have a
southern
lot of
portion of
mittens on.
Texas. Like I'm like,
It's
that's
nah,
not, hey, that sounds fine for you guys. I don't want it below 60 degrees where I'm at.
right.
Um,
69 for me, but go ahead.
yeah. I think I would assume Packers money is coming. But like
Ah,
do you think it matters if it's Packers -2? I know we've dealt with this situation before, especially in the NFL,
hmm.
where it does matter. And usually where I would just say, just take the money line and pay or
Well,
pay.
good friend of mine had the Ravens money line, and it looked like a brilliant move. After he had the Bucks money line too, and I was like, "Damn, we're just literally pillow fighting." But we both literally almost won both those games with that
Yeah.
type of strategy.
Yep.
I don't think it's worth in the long run financially because you got to hit at a much higher level if you're going to pay extra juice.
It depends. Well, it depends on the we've talked,
But I bet
there are
60 soccer games a week. So that's certainly the juice capital of the world. So I don't know. And then I basically get it all, I undo it all on Major League Baseball. So that's basically my dichotomy or duality of man. I don't think it matters that much until it hits two, three. We're
but do
not
you think
seeing
two
that.
matters? Does two matter?
No, but I think if the Bears move to an underdog, I'm playing them. If they are a favorite, I have much more of a pause to playing them than I do to not
Yeah.
playing them.
Yeah.
Even though the one probably won't matter on which side, but and you can't have a tie. That's important also for
That
that.
is true.
But
That's accurate. This is playoffs.
totals down a point. Yeah, people need to read the rules. I probably do
Yeah.
too. Also,
Win or go home. I've
yeah.
heard that phrase
Matt
before.
LaFleur should know the rules now after screwing it up way back when. I don't know if it really mattered, but um, we'll move now to Sunday, which feels like maybe the best game on the list, but we're putting it at noon because the Jaguars are noon Central Time because the Jaguars are involved. We got the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. Open 1 point favorites, fell down to pick them back to -1 right now, a little bit more juice. Totals 51.5 down from 52. I feel like if we're going to look for another team, where do we think the Buffalo Bills, a 6 seed in the AFC, fall and most likely to win the national or the Super Bowl? We've already got the top two out of the way. Where do you
And
think
then
they
like 6-1, 6-1 maybe.
there? We have them up to 8-1 right now,
8-1.
but I was
Okay.
asking more as what number of teams? How many are ahead of them?
Oh, how many are ahead of them? Well,
Mhm.
so we know two. I would say there's uh two more.
There's only one more, the Denver
Okay.
Broncos, who
The
have home field
Broncos.
throughout the AFC playoffs. So, 2 seed, no one cares about. 3 seed, who they're playing in this game, which they are a favorite on the road, but still it's away. They don't seem to care about them.
Yeah.
The 5 seed, Texans, they don't care about, and the Steelers we'll get to, I guess, at some point. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested. What do you think about Buffalo opening a favorite to the hottest team in football?
So did Buffalo have they added anything on the defensive side over the last like month? Have I
Uh,
missed any key pieces that have been added to that defense?
well, I can't imagine that Sean McDermott is helping anybody because what he did against Philadelphia to me, I'm going to, if I ever see him in an airport, I'm asking him for $550.
So I'm not laughing at that at your situation.
It's fine. I'm not, it's fine. Happened.
Although that
My
was
mom was
exactly what
not
we
really
talked.
happy. She's like, "Why do you look so mad?" And I was like, "Mom, everything is going wrong. Everyone loves Josh Allen. I'm finally backing him, and he's doing everything that I don't want him to do to me."
Wasn't that a prime example of a money line versus? No, I guess it didn't matter, did it?
Well,
Because
the minus
Bills
one
were.
I had looked pretty nice when they went for two, even though it was absolutely insane that they did it. But I think
I
there's some coaching issues over there, and you've said it
I
for
truly believe
years of
like
this
that
podcast.
they didn't. Yes, I totally agree, and we've talked about it. Yes, a lot. I think in that game, like they didn't want to go to overtime because neither it didn't. It's like we're both clinched for the playoffs. It is what it is. Let's just go for it.
Maybe.
Um,
Maybe.
I don't know if there was
That's
anything
I think
extra
you're
that was said
giving
about
Shawnee Sean a little bit too much credit, but he is one of my people, so I guess I should let it go.
that. Yeah, you need to be kind to your fellow red brethren.
You're right.
Um, so we're at the point.
Weather
Let's
looks
just look at
nice. 78 degrees in Jacksonville.
nice.
Humidity
Let's just look at what
71.
these. Ooh, it's a little muggy. Okay, but that's not like it's not steaming hot when we've seen Buffalo
No,
deal
but
with those
Buffalo's
kinds
a
of
little bit
issues.
different. Buffalo's had some bad weather.
Yeah,
34 degrees right now. Going to be a high of 46 on Thursday when they probably travel
who
down.
I know this is a really obvious question. Like it's an obvious statement to make. The Bears and the Jags both win their division. They're 2 and 3 seeds. Um, they've been the better teams throughout. They've been the more consistent teams throughout the year. Um, everyone loves what Josh Allen is. I love what Josh Allen is. The
Is he what
roster
he
is
is
so,
right now, or are you saying you love what you've seen from him in multiple years
yeah, like
before this
what
when he
he's
hasn't had as good of
capable
a
of. I
team?
love
And
what watching him play is and
I mean,
most of the time
he's
just
impossible to stop
yeah.
at times if he's got it.
So, but they just make bad. It's like whether when they should be aggressive, they're conservative. When they should be conservative, they're aggressive. It's just like it just feels like whatever decision Sean McDermott makes, it's the wrong one, and he should like. And so it scares me because I do feel like we had all this data in front of us about what Liam Cohen is with quarterbacks, and we were kind of just like, well, it probably won't matter in this case, and it did. It does freaking matter. Um, so like in terms of how they're both playing right now, is there that big of a difference just for this year, just for right now? Like in the performance of Trevor Lawrence versus Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence has been one of the better quarterbacks over the last like 6 weeks, not turning the ball over, like one of the passing leaders, um, able to use his legs. Like I think Buffalo's going to have a hard time slowing down this offense.
So Josh Allen's gonna fall behind 21 nothing to the New England Patriots like he did on one of my best bets, then come back and cover the spread as a favorite away from
Well,
home.
that's possible. I am concerned. Like if you look at the metrics, Jacksonville's defense and their run defense specifically has looked really good. When you watch them play, though, they do give up some explosive runs, and their defensive line often gets pushed off the ball. So I think like there are avenues for Buffalo to exploit. Um, I just don't man, I just don't trust them.
Well, so it sounds like neither team is gonna stop a nosebleed in the running game.
Yeah, what's the total on this?
51 and a half, which
Well, it
is
says a lot.
down a half of a point, but pretty high for the playoffs. I think we should
Down half a
generally
point.
see these things sink a little bit. I mean, weather sounds like it's going to be good. I could see the Buffalo Bills defense being gassed 40 degrees higher after a long flight from the
Yeah.
top west side of whatever, New York, all the way down to the north part of the southernest state in our country on the East Coast. There we go. Um,
Okay.
Sunshine worries me, but to your point, I feel like if he can rid himself of the turnover problems that we've really have plagued his career, then he is a much better quarterback, and maybe that's what Liam Cohen has done for him, or more seasoning, more time in the league, et cetera, et cetera. The
Uh,
Jags, I mean, they were really great at turning the ball over for the first month or so of the season, and no one believed in them being good, and then they won the division and kind of won it going away. It feels like coming from behind with some and a win that they probably deserved at Houston that they couldn't hold on to. So,
oh yeah.
um, all I know is when Josh Allen basically had just an absolute, I don't even know how to describe it, but the game against Philadelphia, great defense and weather wasn't awesome, of course, though he usually thrives in that scenario. When the fantasy football podcasts are out there saying, oh, he's hurt and just they're sure about it. And so that must be why he wasn't playing well. Like, I don't think his brain was hurt. Maybe he was concussed and was playing through it or something like that. But to me, like, they've been so close. They've been in such good situation. It hasn't worked against the better AFC quarterbacks of most recent memory. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think they deserve to be a favorite away from home. I expected them to be, and that's the difference where I make my lines based on what I'm expecting the market to put out there rather than what I truly believe, because I'm not a
Yeah.
variance person. But I thought it'd be Buffalo -1.5. I was disappointed when it fell to pick them, but it's back to -1. And I do feel like we're going to see some money on the Bills. So sign me up for waiting on that one. We'll move
But
unless you got one more
before we
thing.
go, this is just for. I mean, it's a point. It's the example that we could use from last night. We're talking about Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Um, these markets are super reactionary right now. We
Because we have a
watched
ton of new money coming in that has not been betting the sport all season because
yeah,
everyone's going out for these games.
we watched the Steelers climb from 3.5 underdogs to 4.5 right before kickoff without really any slowing down. And so I think
Which was basically the nuts for
yeah,
ever. And
yeah.
then they didn't even do it. Yeah.
It's it's so much about this right now is market timing, and that's why we talk about where do we think this line is going to go, because you're trying to look at where the perceptions are, and if you like the team, you need to move early. If you think it's going to move against
If
you,
you're betting a favorite, I think if you are betting an underdog, you are watching to see what happens. And if you do notice that things are getting eaten up,
yeah,
like that Bears number initially, I don't know that plus one's that different from Pick'em, but it was there, and that could certainly save you some money down the stretch
yeah,
or in put
potentially,
you in a really good position. So to your point, yes, I think favorites you're betting them early, and I think underdogs you are watching to see because you don't want to. Unfortunately, you don't want to miss out. Like a
right?
lot of my subscribers bought the Steelers plus 3.5 on Saturday night going into Sunday.
Yeah,
That almost ended a 4 point game, and I would have felt horrible because
yeah,
4.5 at close, that's really not fun. But
yeah. It
somehow
was the
things
right side
work
either way,
out some days. Yeah,
right there.
it felt like it, but we'll get to on
Oh,
why that
Isaiah
was.
Likely just made a catch. It looks like Tyler Loop's about to kick a field goal and take him to the playoffs.
We'll move
Pretty
next to
easy
San
pick
Francisco
here.
49ers, 4.5 point underdogs now at the Philadelphia Eagles. Totals 45 in this one. I saw this as low as 3.5 and a total of 46. We've lost a point from the San Francisco 49ers at this point because we've moved up a point with Philadelphia's side and down a point on the total. So for some reason, 3 points against Seattle last week and an incredibly bad execution of a pass inside the 5 yard line that might
Yeah.
have cost a lot of people, including yours truly, a push. Do we are we selling the Niners offense now because they're facing another pretty good defense here?
Well, what's going on with their offensive line? Like, is Trent
Well,
Williams going to
is that
play?
why the line went as high as it did? Because all of a sudden
Yes.
Trent Williams wasn't playing because
Yes.
he's been hurt for the last 5 years. I feel like so I
I
never know if
know,
he's
but
going to play.
it matters if he's playing
Well,
through
yeah,
it.
yeah, right.
Okay, I just Googled Trent Williams injury. The first headline is Kyle Shanahan has strange new update on Trent
So
Williams. It's a strange update.
like he's being strange because he's finally admitting I have no idea if this guy's going to play or not. Because he definitely was after one of the games on one of the big networks saying, I'm coming back next year. They were saying 1 more year. He's like, yeah, let's run it. And I'm like, you've been playing half seasons for the last decade. But I guess maybe if you get paid, whatever.
Um, he could come back if he wants to play. Oh my gosh, yes. There's always going to be space for a left tackle like that, no matter what.
Yeah.
Um, but is he
However,
coming back this week? It seems like no,
if he's
based on
not coming
what I'm
back this
reading.
week,
Yeah,
then we're gonna see a an Eagles defense that has been
yeah,
literally the only thing that's been keeping that team afloat for a long time, it feels like to me. You got some arguments about them resting their players and how that was dumb, but I mean, at this point, they've pretty much proven they can win on the road or they can win in a Super Bowl setting or whatever. So I don't know that I'm that concerned
hold on.
personally.
You got the home game. Oh,
But we've already climbed a
he pushed
point.
it to
Why?
the right.
We've climbed a
Um,
point because the Eagles rested, took a bye week, essentially, their most essential personnel. The Niners played the best they could. They had an extra day off, but they scored 3 points. And
yeah.
now the marketplace is like, well, the Niners hasn't been able to stop anybody for a long time and even give up 24 points to Tennessee Titans, which is amazing. But they can score points and the Eagles can't. So
I was
what do
gonna
we
say, does it
choose?
matter?
Do we
Does it matter
choose
what defense?
offense or defense when one's clearly better than the other?
Yeah, I when I saw this line come out, and yeah, I know I get that the number, I guess, makes sense. If you put in all the factors of
I thought
quasi
this
bye.
number opened really low, and I was actually, as a
Yeah,
rare time, if I saw a 3, I was going to play it. I didn't think
I
it would
think
stick.
at three, even when I saw 3.5, it was earlier Monday. I was like, man, that number is it's going to be hard to keep it there. I think you're going to have. I don't know how much support you're going to have for San Francisco in this spot.
Well, this is one of those scenarios. If you like the Niners, no chance you're buying in now.
Dude,
You
just
are
wait,
hanging.
just wait. Oh my gosh, wait till I would probably wait till like 10 a.m.
You might get
Sunday.
6 by
You
Sunday.
probably we might. I
Enough of
mean,
the people are going to be out there being like, this Niners team can't stop a nosebleed. And if they score 3 points against another top tier defense, this is going to be a murder scene in the brotherly love capital of the world where everyone, the only thing is, if they start any sort of good, the Eagles fans have already turned on their team and it is
yeah,
going to be ugly.
I think we get to 5.5.
More
My guess.
whistles than when you walk by a construction site, I suspect.
When you walk by a construction site, we got to
Not
get
me.
going, man. I just looked
Not
how
me.
much time left we
Yeah.
have left.
Okay. Do we got more on this one? Because I don't really have much of
No,
a feel. All right. Next, we'll go to the Los Angeles Chargers, 3.5 point underdog Sunday night at New England. Total is 46 in this one. Here's another example of one of those teams that plays in a dome in Los Angeles, the same dome that is, and
yeah,
they got to go to Foxborough, Massachusetts for a big Saturday night showdown. Do we believe in the Patriots?
yeah. Hey, Drake May, I'm like,
Low of
I'm with them.
27 on Sunday. Not great.
What do you mean? You think that's bad?
I mean, that's
The Chargers?
it's worse for the Chargers than it is for the Patriots. I'll put it that way.
27's fine for those people. You know it.
I don't think the Chargers are going to be used to that, but
The Chargers are not going to be used to it,
I
but
do think Jim Harbaugh has brought a toughness to that team, and he's
for
going to
sure.
probably go out there shirtless, khakis only.
The thing though is like they can't figure it out with I mean they just have such bad injury luck. I mean they're pulling offensive linemen off the scrap heap. It's a sad scene out there. I wouldn't say the Patriots defensive line or is going to be something that I'm like, oh wow, it's not like the mismatch that San Francisco Philadelphia would be. I'm just like it's hard for me to look at the Chargers and be like, well, they got this going for them because even Justin Herbert has like a broken hand. It's his non-throwing hand, but any sort of pressure in the cold weather feels like a concern. Um, Man, we've seen some of these Sunday night games in this spot where it turns out to be just a blowout. Um, I think that the sentiment is going to be on similar to that with this game too, especially with what the Chargers have done or not done when they make it to the postseason.
Well, we're jockeying from 3.5 to 4 back to 3.5. Total is 46 down to 45.5, back up to 46. So we're pretty much where things opened, despite a little bit of an indicator that the Patriots will get some money. It sounds like you think that'll occur.
I do think that will occur.
Because I
Although,
think Sunday night, late night, there's a lot of money that's going to be hitting the money lines and things like that from people
yep,
trying to get out from under a pretty
yep,
deep hole from when they bet teams that don't cover this
yep.
week or weekend specifically. I think that's something to think about. I think if you like the Chargers, you do not get in
Need to wait.
until 4.5,
Let's
maybe
say wait
more.
till an hour before
Wait till
kickoff, whatever
literally
time that is.
Literally set an alarm 5 minutes before. Last one we'll go to the Houston Texans, 3.5 point favorites at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Total is 39.5. Has not hit 40. We did see Houston drop to a 3 point favorite. They're back up to 3.5. And I'm really disappointed because I was hoping that we'd get to play the Houston Texans as an underdog on the road to Baltimore. But instead, they're a big favorite at Pittsburgh. And now I got to think, am I going to back Aaron
Ben
Rodgers? Wow, what a
Roethlisberger.
throwback. Am I going to bet Aaron Rodgers, Ben Rodgers? Am I going to bet both of them and their ghosts in that Acrisure field, formerly known as the ketchup bottle?
It's pretty hard to. Everyone watched that game Sunday night, and this is kind of the follow up to a primetime spot where you have this kind of big moment. There's going to be more attention on the Steelers, um, but it also like makes I agree with you. I hate that this is the matchup because everything.
But it is what it is. So then you think the Steelers have a big enough name and they had a big win on Sunday night when they barely won by a missed field goal, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, let's back them." Is that what you think?
I think because it's the Ravens and everyone since week 4 has been like, oh, well, even without Lamar, they're still making the playoffs. That like the idea that they beat the Ravens to make the postseason means more. And I
Well,
think that
so that what
people
that
will,
tells me actually is you're saying that there's such little belief in the Houston Texans because they're one of those
yes,
expansion franchises that no one has any fans or
dude,
anything. The
like,
Steelers are one of the most popular in the world, of course.
yeah, the imprint, like, how many people get to or are able to watch Texans games outside of the state of Texas is so small. Like, it's a huge TV market, but it's a small market viewpoint. No one is following the Texans. Um, you know,
Well, they
I,
fell from 3.5 to 3, back up to 3.5. A little
I
more juice on the Steelers right now. You
it
think
just
that the
matters.
name of the Steelers, Mike Tomlin, his
Yes,
famous quarterback, that's the side that's going to get bet.
it just matters when we talk about oh, my computer. Um, when we talk about the Steelers and when the shine is on versus, the public perception, they're very much like a Cowboys type franchise. So narratives do matter leading up to their kind of games. It often feels like when you expect them to perform poorly, that's when they shine brightest. So we'll see.
Before we get to our best bets, do you think this number closes below Pittsburgh +3, 2.5 or lower?
Oh, sheesh. Yeah, I do actually.
I do not. Okay, we're gonna pick one pick, side or total from each game, and then we'll have a best
Okay.
bet following this up. We'll go as quick as you'd like. I think we got enough time.
Okay.
Rams 10-point favorites on the road to Carolina, totals 46.5.
Take the Rams.
I will take Carolina. The Green Bay Packers pick them on the road at Chicago, total is 45.5.
Take the Bears.
I will take the Bears. The Bills visit Jacksonville. 1-point favorites are the Bills, totals 51.5.
Wow. Um,
It's early. You have the right to change, but I don't think it'll happen.
I'll I'll take the Bills.
I'll take the Jaguars. San Francisco, 4.5-point underdogs at Philadelphia. Total is 45.
I'll take the 49ers,
I'll
but
take
not right now.
I'll take over 45. The Los Angeles Chargers, 3.5-point underdogs at New England. Total is 46.
Give me the Patriots.
I'll take the Chargers. Texans, 3.5-point favorites at Pittsburgh. Total is 39.5.
Steelers.
I'll go under 39.5. And it's now time for A Sticker's best bet. We did not give out any picks because we didn't do an episode last week, but it's for the best because we won more than we lost. Where are you going?
All right, let's you know what? Let's go back to Saturday night. And let's take the Packers over 45 and a half. That's my bet.
All right. Green Bay Packers over 45.5 points. Guess he's back in some quarterback returns. For my best bet, the real underscore warrant across all social media platforms. We're taking the Jacksonville Jaguars 1-point underdogs at home to the Buffalo Bills. I have seen enough. Josh Allen, you've got a nice, beautiful wife. You go spend some time with her and maybe find a way to get rid of Sean McDermott because I don't trust either of those two in any sort of high pressure situations. And I'm riding the coattails of one Liam Cohen and the hottest team in football that I don't think should be a home underdog. So +1 Jacksonville Jaguars, over 45.5 Packers at Bears for _Schnicker. And that does it for this episode. We'll see you next week. Get ready for the graphics because I have a lot of time to burn at work.